bullseye. Why couldn't I have done that last night?
When you go to an elite archery outfitter like Bluff Bucks Outfitters, the quality deer management is in place, along with countless other measures to ensure bow hunters the highest odds possible to harvest one of the biggest trophy whitetail bucks found anywhere in the world. As part of QDM, strict harvest rules are in place to make certain that only the biggest bucks in the herd are harvested. Moreover, the scenic Mississippi River Delta region in west central Wisconsin is another giant reason why this area's whitetail bucks have the ability to grow to such mammoth proportions.
Well, how the Bluff area or southwestern Wisconsin became the mecca for big deer that it is today is really a two-part story, and it's a long one. The first part is nature, and it's a landscape that's formed out of flat-lying sedimentary rocks lying one atop another. So the landscape today has got flat surfaces that are dissected or cut by deep, narrow valleys. During the glacial period, sediments from the west were blown up onto those flat uplying bluffs. And those wind-deposited soils on the top are very fertile, but they're also prone to erosion. And so the people that have lived and worked this land as farmers for years, their solution to that erosion problem was to not plow those steep sides and to really pioneer all kinds of processes to control erosion on those flat uplands. That's good for deer because what it ended up producing was a landscape with a mosaic of forest and patches of agriculture. Great for deer. Deer love edges. But it doesn't explain the big buck story, and that's another part of the people story. They decided they didn't want a large population of deer, they wanted a good population of big bucks. And that's where quality deer management comes in.
All combined, hunters have access to an over 80% shot opportunity at a trophy buck with an 145-inch average, hundreds of prime, undisturbed tree stand and ground blind hunting locations, and over 4,000 acres professionally managed for monster bucks in QDM. Well, opening day of archery hunting in the state of Wisconsin, and I'm about ready to go to the stand. I did my boots all the way around them completely. The inside, I sprayed them down about an hour ago, and the soles, and let them dry in the sun. I'm just hitting anything that might have a little odor to it. Take the time to descent those things that you can. Control the controllable things in deer hunting, because there are too many things you can't control. Doesn't figure though. Sitting there all night, all afternoon. And the buck we want is here, but he comes down off of this side into the bean field, rather than coming down this way. Well, second night of the hunt here at Bluff Buck Outfitters. And the buck we were hoping to get a crack at that they got on film was close by us last night. God willing, tonight will be the night. Thanks. They've got a real nice setup here. They built a water hole because there's nothing really in this whole drainage here. And there's a trail going this way up the hill. And there's a fruit plot right in behind us. And then a big thing over timbered hill. Waited 3 bucks. An 8-point, I think another little 8-point. And Forky was right here, and the other ones right around us. Didn't know we were here at all. I kept thinking, where's that big dog? But he didn't show. 4:45, day 3. It was pushing 80 degrees this afternoon. They're 10 yards, 12 yards from us, going on both sides of the pool. We'll drink it right here. We don't have a lot of cover. Wind is swirling. It never busted us.
So what do you want it set in here so you can work this way and this way probably, huh?
Yes.
So we'll leave this one row.
Let's leave the outside row and work on the inside. I'll get this thing out of the case. The only time we've seen the big boy, he was right out here in the beans. So we thought, well, we'd try and set up a ground blind and put it right inside the corn here.
Good luck. See how this works.
God willing. And see if we can get a different crack at him this way. Who knows, the wind is decent. I like to spray down in the blind every half an hour to an hour, something like that. Just because your scent gets somewhat contained in here. You're always giving off some. This helps cover it up, so it helps mask it. Good idea to bring a bottle with you. Oh, here's my buck coming. It's him. It's him. Come on out. Should be good. Should be great. He's just standing there. He's dropping down. Yes. I mean, God, is that exciting. That's a beautiful buck. We've been sitting here. Well, this is our fourth day. We've been up here on a stand by a water hole. We seen him the first night. We haven't seen him since, just little bucks. So we decided to put a ground blind today in the food plot right here, or food plot out, this big cornfield, right here in the corner, so we could see this food plot. And we've been waiting and waiting and waiting. And all of a sudden, he appears right along the wood line, right there. And I used my rangefinder earlier and checked the distance out here so I knew what it was. I knew I could shoot my 20-yard pin anywhere right in. And he walked exactly perfectly into the spot where he's supposed to. Oh my God, I'm just cranked. I guess that's a good way to say it. All the hard work you put in for a bow hunt to try and get that chance, it's so difficult. You've got so many odds against you. And when it all comes together, if you're a bow hunter, you can't understand it, but it's just like an explosion of happiness. Not over the sake of killing the animal, but over the sake of conquering him on his ground. Everything kind of coming together. It's a high like I can't explain.
We just got word that Babe shot one, so we're gonna go check it out and see what we got.
You ain't gonna believe what happened.
What's that?
Oh, I was standing out here walking on the road. Maybe my bow and stuff is laying here. And all of a sudden I hear a noise. I looked, he stood up. I couldn't believe that buck got up and took off. I mean, I know he was hit good and hard.
Yeah, let's get out of here.
But fearing he'd stay on the move if we buggered him, we decided to wait until the following day to look any further. When in doubt, that's always the right move. See that hole right there where the white flowers are? Mm-hmm. That's where we went.
Okay.
And next morning, with the tracking dog, it didn't take long to find my buck.
She's a British lab.
In fact, there he lay, less than 100 yards from where I first saw him go down. That a nice buck? To me, it was great to score on this buck that I was targeting. We'd seen him earlier on in the hunt and strategically made a move to a ground blind set in the cornfield to intercept his pattern of movements. Yes, anytime you bow hunt for whitetail bucks, it's a great feeling when a plan comes together. Up next is a little bit of a different kind of wild harvest. Mushroom picking is a huge deal to so many Americans, including my wife Christine. So let's take a peek and learn from an outing she took with a true expert on the subject.
Okay, Mike, the mushroom man, called me up and said, hey Chris, we've got to go out and look for some mushrooms. I'm like, are you for real? Just when fall is starting? I thought mushrooms are always in spring. He said, absolutely not. So he's going to show me how it is to look for mushrooms in the fall.
Absolutely. Fall is really the top time of the year for mushrooms. Right now, there's probably hundreds of species around us. Minnesota has somewhere in the neighborhood of about 5,000 species of mushrooms, of which, you know, there are some that are palatable and some that are edible but not palatable. I would say maybe 30 to 50 that are worth eating in most people's opinion.
Well, I'm excited because this is all new for me, and I just learned so much from you when I go with you.
This is from the genus Selus, and the common name for it is a painted slippery jack. And it has a lot of cousins around us that are just totally brown, but you see it's got that nice red color to it. And there's another really delicious one
I see it
in front of us, but next to it is a different one called a saffron milk cap, which actually is a really choice edible. It's a very delicious, in fact, one of my favorite mushrooms.
Oh, look at that. It's green on the top.
In the case of mushrooms, fall is really the best time of the year. There's a lot of choice edibles that are out. Really a fun time of the year to be in the woods. So anywhere you handle it, as I'm doing right now, after several minutes, if you came back and looked at that, it'd be the same green. So it stains that unique green color, but it's a very delicious mushroom, and it actually imparts some of the color of this mushroom, that really nice orange, into your food.
And does the green stay with it too then?
Yeah, the green doesn't stay quite as green. It mostly looks dark through the cooking process. And this is, technically, it's kind of a cousin of the saffron milk cap. This is a variation, and one of the variations is the fact that it stains that green color. A true saffron milk cap would look very much the same minus the green. It would be orange gills.
There's so many different types of mushrooms out there. This is just amazing. I would have just stomped right over the top of them and not even give them a second look.
Well, and there's a lot. There's about 5,000 here in Minnesota.
No, you got to grab that one next to you. Woo.
We're going to eat good tonight.
And this is, when you get down low like this, it's almost like looking for, for Easter eggs on Easter. You can see just where they're actually coming up out of the ground. All the pine needles are sitting on top, so anything that's rose up a little bit or risen up a little bit, there's mushrooms underneath it. It's really kind of cool. Yeah. Well, let's go find more.
Yes. We like looking in those areas that have a certain amount of mixed hardwoods, but predominantly have a lot of those conifers in with them. You might consider that you're going to find better mushrooms in lower areas, especially areas that have a lot of moss and they maintain moisture for a longer period of time, or they're sheltered from wind as well, so the wind is not wicking the moisture off the surface. So you're always looking for those areas within the woods that have the most ability to hold moisture for the longest periods of time.
Chris, what do you think? Seen them?
Pretty good at this.
I think I better get a basket. Oh, look at this right here. Oh my God, there's a whole bunch more.
Right.
Now, when I said I found the mother lode, I found the mother lode. Holy, look at how beautiful though.
They're in nice shape.
Absolutely beautiful.
This is a different species called Flavus, Cantharellus flavus. And one of the easiest ways to tell is that its entire stem is yellow rather than white.
And look at that. When I said it was the mother lode, trust me, it ended up being exactly that. That's what we're talking about right there. No, you gotta buy these in the store. They are so darn expensive. And here you can just come out in the woods and pick them yourself.
If you're not sure that what you're eating is what you think it is, you should absolutely throw it out. And if you've hung around anybody who picks mushrooms very long, they'll tell you when in doubt, throw it out. It's sort of interesting in the sense that there's not many other things you consider eating that have the potential to kill you. And you know, people should look at mushrooms the same way. There's no reason to eat something that you're taking a risk like that with.
Buffalo County, Wisconsin is some of the most coveted trophy whitetail ground in the United States. Earlier on, others and I mentioned many of the reasons why. And I can't recommend Bluff Bucks Outfitters enough. Butch Fox is one of the founders of quality deer management in this country, and you won't find any place that takes more pride in providing the most incredible trophy hunting experience possible.
In the 80s, QDM came to this area, and actually it's a group of 15 of us that leased land over here in the early 80s, and we started letting bucks go, and so it kind of caught on. So basically the whole county's pretty much QDM, and pretty hardcore QDM. People take it pretty personal. You know, just letting deer go, letting them get that age, and you know, shooting the does, and so you got a good balance. So win-win-win for the deer. So you got big bucks.
Unbelievable.
5-star accommodations and a family atmosphere that means your first trip there is probably not going to be your last. As for me, taking a monster just wasn't in the cards this time around there. Nonetheless, I was very happy with the nice buck that I did take, because he came as a result of making a plan and following it through. The trophy whitetail hunter who expects trophy success every time only sets his or herself up for a bucket load of frustration. So from bow hunting in Wisconsin to mushroom picking in Minnesota, thanks so much to everyone who made today's show possible. There are so many different kinds of hunts and natural harvests out there for those who take the time to plan or just spontaneously get out and explore. I'm Babe Winkelman. Thanks for watching, and until next time, everybody, hey, good hunting.